Good morning and welcome back to Joseph's Reserves. I'm Joseph and I store 20% of my income in the form of rare coins and precious metals. Yesterday, I just counted all of my American Silver Eagles and the final count was 129. I have here 4 different categories that I'm collecting: a full date run, a bulk stack, these non-business strikes, and the MS70 graded business strike coins. My goal is to continue the date run of the business strike coins while I'm collecting the MS70 versions, as well as the proof and burnished and reverse proof examples. And hopefully I'll be able to put together a whole nother tube to create a mini monster box of 100 extra American Silver Eagles. Today, we are going to be counting all of my non-American coins. But while I'm putting away these American Silver Eagles and taking out all of these sovereign coins from other countries, I can't help but to wonder, why do we do this? Why do we stack silver from governments that we don't actually trust? Us all as stackers have decided that we don't trust the filthy fiat promissory notes that all of these countries are putting out. Yet, we seem to have a preference for a chunk of silver with that country's name on it and the same denomination of that filthy fiat that we are fighting against. And to make things worse, we typically pay more for these examples. So why is it that we even like these government-backed silver? Well, let's get into it. Wait, before we go anywhere else, I have to give a shout out to Fateful Shirt. He was the first comment on the last video, and he continues to be a great supporter of my channel. Thank you so much, Fateful Shirt. Guys, check him out in the comments, start a conversation with him, and maybe we can start using this community we're building to start learning from each other. But for now, we'll get back to this idea of these sovereign coins. Let's be honest, the global economy right now looks like it's being held together with duct tape, optimism, and whatever's left on the government's credit card. The prices are up, debt is up, confidence is down, and fiat, well, it's filthier than ever. This fiat system is basically the government handing you a piece of paper and saying, here, this is a promise that when you give this back to me, I'll give you another one. I pinky swear. And the rest of us are just supposed to nod along and say, oh wow, thank you for this magical promissory note backed by my trust in you. Wait, before we go any farther, I was taking out these graded coins and then I realized I forgot to show them again in the grand total after our count. So take a good look because you will not see these again. And this is actually my only silver panda. I'm not too sure how I feel about collecting Chinese silver, but that's a whole other conversation. Let's get back to our topic. Where was I? Filthy fiat promissory notes, backed by the full faith and trust of the government. Sure. But here's the part that cracks me up. Even though we don't trust the government's currency, we still love government silver. It's like saying, I don't quite trust you to babysit my kids, but do you mind holding on to this safe with all of my silver in it? But wait, some of us do that too. We go to the same bank that we don't trust to hold our filthy fiat dollars, and we open a safety deposit box to hold all of our silver. Guys, what are we doing? But it kind of does make a little bit sense when we think about it a little bit more. Government coins, whether it's Maple Leafs, Britannias, Kangaroos, Philharmonics, they come from something private mints don't have: accountability, tradition, and recognition. It's basically the brand name cereal of silver. Sure, the off-brand stuff tastes the same, right? Not really. That's why we grab the one with a recognizable logo. Okay, so that covers why we kind of want a government name on it, but what about the denominations? I mean, nobody's spending a Britannia for £2. Nobody's slapping a kangaroo to pay $1 in Australia, and no one's putting down a Canadian maple and saying, hey, this says $5 on it. Yeah, the cashier is probably just going to call security. The denomination isn't value. It's a stamp of legitimacy, a little reminder that silver has been tested, verified, and hasn't been shaved down by some guy named Carl who was literally trying to stretch his dollar in the 1800s. It's actually the opposite of fiat. Instead of the government trying to say, trust us, they're actually saying, trust the metal. These denominations are a shout out back to actual coins that used to circulate with silver and gold in them. It's a reminder that silver and gold used to circulate as currency in everyone's pockets. It's a reminder that silver and gold are and always will be real money. And there are actually regulations based on taxing or transporting these precious metals when it comes to defining it as a currency or a money or property. So it is very important to look into exactly those regulations when you might be paying taxes or transporting these metals or any sort of money or currency out of your country into another one. Make sure you're doing your homework and doing everything the right way. Honestly, stacking foreign sovereign silver coins is fun in a weird way. It's like diversifying your distrust. I stack American silver eagles because I distrust the filthy fiat dollar. It's like, okay, if I distrust the Canadian dollar, why not stack some Canadian maples? If I distrust the British pound, it's all filthy fiat. Might as well stack some actual true silver from those countries. So as I'm organizing these coins that I have that represent 9 different countries and a few different series within those countries, I'm starting to think, what is my goal with each of these series? I think starting with a date run of each one would actually be super interesting. Maybe after that, kind of make the same logic from my American Silver Eagles, I might do a few mini monster boxes. Probably not with all 9 countries. Although if I did, I would have full date runs of each of these countries and an additional 1,000 ounces of silver. So that would actually be pretty interesting. So which 9 countries do I actually have here? We've got Canada, Mexico, the UK, South Africa, Australia, China, Austria, Armenia, and actually one from Fiji. So right now I'm thinking my goal should probably be solidifying 10 countries that I actually want to buy silver from. And it actually might be less than 10 countries because some countries like Australia that I'm showing right here have different series, like the Lunar Zodiac series, the kangaroos, kookaburras, koalas. I'll have to see if I want to count each of these series as its own collection in this plan. But overall, if I'm trying to keep the same number through each country, looks like I'm having some lighting issues here, or probably just testing different lighting ideas. Hey guys, if you have any suggestions about my videos, maybe different lighting, different filming equipment, I'm just using my iPhone. It's just not quite coming out how I want it to. I'll just leave it right there. Where was I? I guess if I'm trying to collect a set amount of each country, should I consider these different series by the same mints as a totally different section? Or would I just kind of mix all of the Australian together? That's just something I have to solidify. But I'm thinking if I had 10 different categories, I could start with a tube of each, and that would end up with already 200. Well, I guess Canadian has 25, so I guess I'd have to specifically state 20 coins of each. Then I would end up with already 200 ounces from foreign sovereign mints. And then I could, raise it up to 100 coins of each, a mini monster box of each country or, series that I'm collecting. We'll see. I might solidify that goal later And we're just going to continue going through my collection here. And actually, this video is ending up a little bit longer than I wanted. So let me just quickly go through this collection. I'm sure I'm going to be making more videos on every single piece in my collection. So just a quick view we'll have to do for now. Overall, I ended up counting 195.2, yes, 0.2 because there are fractional coins. So 195.2 ounces in coins alone. So that's all silver that was made at sovereign mints from all across the world, totaling to 195.2 ounces. If we add that to my 129 ounces of American Silver Eagles, that will total 324.2 ounces of silver, of which about 60% is made out of world silver and the other 40% is made out of American silver. And that has a current melt value of $18,891 based on today's spot price. So we're actually slowly catching up to my gold total. And remember, the whole reason I'm doing all this is to find out what my portfolio ratio actually is. How much value do I have in gold compared to the amount of value that I have in silver? If you haven't seen it already, about a week ago, I put out a video that I counted all of my gold. So go back in my videos and find that one so we can see how my gold stack compares to my silver stack and what the percentage of my entire portfolio actually is. It might take about another week, but I plan on getting through every single piece of silver that I have. So that will be it for today. If you learned something in this video or you like the video, please hit the like button down below. And if you have anything to say on the topic, please go down in the comments and start a conversation with someone you know or someone you don't know. I really do enjoy reading your guys' comments and the conversations you have about these topics that I'm curious about. Most of all, thank you so much for watching. And just remember, every ounce adds up. So no matter how small, just keep stacking.